नमस्कार बच्चों, आप सभी को फिर से इस वर्चुअल क्लास में स्वागत है। बच्चों, पिछले एपिसोड में हमने एडी और इसके कंपोनेंट से जुड़ी हुई जो न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चन, अब शॉर्ट टर्म इक्विलिब्रियम आउटपुट और मल्टीप्लायर, इससे जुड़ी हुई कुछ न्यूमेरिकल क्वेश्चंस, कुछ एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस और कुछ वैल्यू बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आज हम देखेंगे। तो बच्चों ध्यान से सुनिएगा और ध्यान से मैं जितने भी सवाल मैं यहाँ पे करा रहा हूं उसे आप समझने की कोशिश करिएगा। सो फर्स्ट वी विल मूव टू द एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस और द वेरी शॉर्ट आंसर क्वेश्चंस। सो लुक एट द क्वेश्चन। हियर वी हैव द क्वेश्चन वेयर द इक्विलिब्रियम लेवल ऑफ इनकम और आउटपुट and employment is viewed from which of the following? Okay, so what they are asking, the equilibrium level of income can be viewed or can be found from which approach? Look at the options. A, that is AD equal to AS approach. B, S is equal to I approach. And at C we have that is both A and B. And D, the option D says that none of this. So can you guess the answer? Okay, good. That is, the right answer is option C. So when you want to find out the equilibrium level of income and the employment, so that can be found with the help of two approaches that we have studied in our earlier episode, where the equilibrium can be found with the help of two approaches, that is AD equal to AS approach and S is equal to I approach. Now look at the next question. According to Keynesian's theory of GDP determination is based on the assumption. So the Keynesian theory of GDP is based on what assumption? Look at the option. A, a closed economy. B, short run analysis. C, where AS is perfectly elastic. And the option D, where the option is given as all of these. Can you guess the answer? Okay, so for this question, option D is the correct answer. Why D? That means what? In Keynes' theory of GDP determination, it can be calculated in a closed economy model and during a short run analysis period, and where we have seen that the AS is always perfectly elastic. Okay, look at the third question. Well, the investment which is independent of the level of income is called what? A, autonomous investment. B, induced investment. C, both A and B. And D, again, none of these. So can you guess the answer? So which kind of investment is independent of level of income? Yes, correct. That is option A, that is autonomous investment, where we can say that these investment will not be affected by the income level. That means these investment level, so the value of autonomous investment is the investment value when the value of income may be zero. Okay, now move to the next question, fourth question. Look at the question. The slope of S line is indicated by, we have seen the graph with the AD curve. So from that, can you guess, can you tell the answer, what the S line slope indicates? From this graph, you can look at the graph. Can you guess what is the S line indicates? So the S line is indicated by option A, that is MPC, option B, MPS, option C, that is 1 minus MPC, and at last we have the option D, where we have the option of both B and C. So what will be the answer? So what is the B and C? So when you look at the options, the B option, that is MPS, and the option C is 1 minus MPC. So the slope of S line is indicated by the value of marginal propensity to save. So here we have two options, that is B, where the value of MPS is given, and the C, where 1 minus MPC, so that is equal to MPS. So for this question, option D is the correct answer, where we can see that both B and C is the correct answer for this question. Look at the next question. Here, if MPC is 0.9, then the value of K will be, look at the options, A 6, at B they given the value of 10, C option that is 9, and D it is 12. So we cannot simply guess the answer for this question. So we need to do a small calculation. Let's do that calculation. So when the MPC is 0.9, we can get the value of multiplier, that is value of K, by getting the formula, that is K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. So the value of MPC is given as 0.9. So what the equation will become? K is equal to 1 by 1 minus 0.9. That will be equal to 1 by 0.1. So by dividing 1 by 0.1, we get the value of 10. So 10 is the correct answer. So option B is the correct answer for this question. Now look at the next question. So where we can see a small calculation again. So when C is equal to 100 plus 0.5 into Y, and the value of Y is equal to 500, saving at zero income level will be what? So you have to choose any of the option for the as a correct answer. We have to do some calculation to get the correct answer. So look at here what they have asked. We need to find the saving at zero level of income. So here in this question, the value of C function is given. When you see the C function value, that is 100 plus 0.5 into Y. So in that C function, we have to recall the C function formula, where C is equal to C bar plus 1 minus B into Y. How we can find the value of saving at zero level of income? So it is very simple. The value, the autonomous consumption is given as 100. So we know that whatever the autonomous consumption is there at zero level of income, the value of autonomous consumption at zero level of income will be the saving at zero level of income with a negative value. So here we have the C bar as 100, so S bar will be minus 100. So the correct answer will be the option C, where minus 100 is the value for saving at zero level of income. Okay, now move to the next question, where if MPC is 0, the value of multiplier will be what? So we need to calculate the value of multiplier when MPC is 0. Again, we need to go for the same formula, that is K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. So when we subtract the value of 1 by 1 minus MPC, okay, so when we subtract the value of 1 by 1 minus MPC, that is 1 by 1 minus 0, it gives 1. So 1 by 1, we get the value of K as 1. So here option B, that is the value of K will be 1 when the MPC is 0. So now we have seen some MCQ questions. In the same way, apart from MCQ questions, some questions are which are to be answered in a one word or one sentences. That is a very short answers. So we have one more question like that. Look at the question. What are the actual stock with the producer? Or what do you mean by the actual stock with the producer? We can say that the actual stocks are those desired and undesired stocks with the producers. That means so it can be calculated by closing stock minus opening stock. So by getting the value of closing stock minus opening stock, the value of change in stock or inventory stock is calculated. So this stock is being called as actual stock. So even we have seen this change in stock and inventory stock while calculating the national income through product method. So these are the stocks which are kept with the producers. Okay students, after looking this very short answer questions, we will move to solve some numerical questions from the concept of short-term equilibrium output and the multiplier. So look at these sums carefully. Let's do the sums. Okay students, look at the question. in an economy, income increases by rupees 10,000 as a result of a rise in investment expenditure by rupees 1,000. Now calculate investment multiplier and MPC, that is marginal propensity to consume. So students, look here, to solve this question, we need to write the given values. So what are the given in the question? So value of delta y is given, that is change in the income as rupees 10,000, and the value of delta I, that is the increase in the investment expenditure, is given as rupees 1,000. So what we need to find? We need to find the value of K, that is investment multiplier, and we need to find the value of MPC, that is marginal propensity to consume. So how we can get the value of K and MPC? So we know that the value of K will be what? K is equal to, so K can be found with the formula where delta y by delta I. So by this we get the value of 10,000 divided by 1,000. That gives the value of K as 10. So by this very easily we can calculate the value of K. So always remind that K can be, that is the investment multiplier can be found with the two formula, that is K is equal to delta y by delta I, and in one more where the K can be calculated by 1 by 1 minus MPC. So after getting the value of K, by the alternate formula of K we can get the value of MPC. So how we can get the value of MPC? We know that K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. So how we can write this equation as? So we know the value of K. K is 10. And here 1 by 1 minus MPC. So now this equation will become 1 minus MPC is equal to 1 by 10. Here, so 1 minus MPC become 0.1. So the MPC will become 1 minus 0.1. So here we can get the equation as MPC is equal to 1 minus 0.1. So we get the value as MPC as 0.1. Therefore, we got the value of K, that is multiplier, K as 10, and the value of MPC is 0.9. Look at the next question, where the saving function of an economy is S is equal to minus 200 plus 0.25 into Y. The economy is in equilibrium when income is equal to rupees 2,000. Now calculate investment expenditure at equilibrium level of income, autonomous consumption, and investment multiplier. So by these given values we will calculate the sum. As I told you, again we have to see the given values. What are the values given in the question? The value of S is given. So S is equal to minus 200 plus 0.25 into Y, and the value of Y is given as 2,000. So what we need to find here, we need to find the value of investment expenditure, that is the value of I. Then again we need to find the value of autonomous consumption, that is C bar, and one more value we need to find here, that is the value of investment multiplier, that is K value. So how with these given values, when the economy is in equilibrium level of income, we will find this value. So look here, at equilibrium level we know that S is equal to I. Here we can find the value of I. So how we can write the I? That I will be equal to the S function, the value of S function will be written here, that is minus 200 plus 0.25 Y. So we know the value of y. Y is 2000. So how now the equation will become minus 200 plus 0.25 into 5, that is 500, and now this will become 300. So now we got the value of I as 300. Now moving ahead, we will find the value of C bar. So what we need to do, we need to find a C bar. C bar is the value of the consumption, that is the autonomous consumption at the level of income as 0. So 0 level of income. So here we have the S bar value, where we can see that the S bar is minus 200. So at C function, when we have studied about the derivation of S function and the C function, what we have seen that in the formula, where whenever the value of C bar will be equal to the value of S bar with the negative value. So here in the S function, when we have the value of minus 200 plus 0.25 into y, so this value of minus 200 is the S bar value. By taking this as a C bar is equal to minus S bar, so how we can get the value that minus into S bar is given as minus 200, so it gives the value minus into minus plus 200. So the C bar value will be equal to 200. So we have derived this C bar value from the S function value, where we can see that even the value of S function can be written as minus C bar plus MPS into y. Otherwise minus C bar plus 1 minus MPC into y. And at last we need to calculate the value of K. Now we have to find out the value of multiplier, that is value of K. So we know that whenever we want to calculate the value of multiplier, we have only two formulas for calculating the value of multiplier, that is K is equal to delta y by delta I, and one more is what? K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC or 1 by 1 minus MPS. So when we have the value of S function with us, so in S function value, this is the value of S bar and this is the value of MPS, or it can be said to be a value of M1 minus MPC. So by this formula, that is 1 by 1 minus MPC or 1 by MPS, we can get the value of K. So here what the value of K will be, it is 1 by MPS can be derived from this S function, where it is given as 0.25. So here the value will be 0.25, that is the MPS value taken from the S function. So what the K value now become? It will become 4. So therefore at last we got all the values, that is value of I that is investment expenditure, it will be 300. The value of C bar that we calculated as 200, and at last we have calculated the value of K as 4. Okay students, I hope you understood this question. Okay students, now we will look at one more question. Look at the question carefully. An economy is in equilibrium. Calculate the marginal propensity to save from the following. National income is equal to rupees 500. Autonomous consumption is rupees 30. Investment expenditure is rupees 70. Okay students, now we will try to solve this question. So look at the given values. That is, national income is given. That is, the value of national income can be said to be value of Y, that is 500, and the value of autonomous consumption, that is C bar, is 30. The value of investment expenditure, that is the value of I, is equal to 70. So by this we need to calculate the value of MPS, that is marginal propensity to save. Yes. How we can get the value of MPS from given values? So these questions we have studied about the formulas of MPC, MPS, the value of K, all these things. The economy is in equilibrium. When the economy is in equilibrium, we know that we have two approaches, we have two options. That is, AD is equal to AS and S is equal to I. So here, with that approach, that is S is equal to I, we can solve this question. So what we know that at equilibrium, S is equal to I. So here we have the value of I and the value of income and C bar is given. So by this value of income and the C bar, we can get the value of the S function, S value. So how we can get the S value? That is, S value is what? Minus C bar plus MPS into Y. That is the formula for S function. So that is equal to I value. That is S. This S value is being written as in the formula of C function formula, where minus C bar plus MPS into Y. That is the S function value is equal to I. Now, replacing the values, that is minus 30 plus MPS into 500 is equal to 70. That is the value of I. So how the equation will become? 500 MPS is equal to 70 plus 30. So now what will happen? MPS will become 100 divided by 500. So cancelling these two zeros, we get the value of MPS as 0.2. Therefore, we have very easily calculated the value of MPS, that is equal to 0.2. So these are the some numerical questions being asked in our board examination. So only thing is what? Only from the given values. Whenever we get such kind of questions with the given values, we need to understand by which derivative formula we can solve these questions. So students, look at the numerical question. In an economy, the consumption function is C is equal to 500 plus 0.75 Y, where C is consumption expenditure and Y is income. Calculate the equilibrium level of income and consumption expenditure when investment expenditure is rupees 5,000. So we will start doing this sum. Look at the sum. So first we have to write the given values. So given here, that is value of C function is equal to 500 plus 0.75 into Y, and investment expenditure, that is value of I, is equal to 5,000. So now at the equilibrium, we know that Y is equal to C plus I. So here we can, in place of C, we can replace the C function value, where Y will be in the equation. In the equation, Y will be equal to 500 plus 0.75, that is value of C, plus 5,000. That is, here the value of I is given as 5,000. Now the equation will become 5,500 plus 0.75 Y. Moving ahead, the equation will now become Y minus 0.75 Y is equal to 5,500. That gives 0.75 Y is equal to 5,500. So here Y is equal to 5,500 divided by 0.25, that is equal to 22,000. So when Y is equal to 22,000, we can calculate the value of C by C function. So C function is given as what? 500 plus 0.75 into Y. So in place of Y, we got the value of Y as 22,000. So the equation now will become 500 plus 16,500, that gives the value of 17,000. So therefore, the equilibrium level of income is equal to 22,000 and the equilibrium level of consumption expenditure is equal to 17,000. Okay students, after discussing the very short answer questions and the numerical questions on multiplier and the short run equilibrium output, now we will discuss some value based questions. So these kind of value based questions are being asked in our board examinations. Let's look at some statements where The government plans massive public investment to boost the economy. Here, explain the manner in which it is expected to happen. Indian economy is passing through a phase of economic slowdown. Private investment is not forthcoming because of lack of AD and the lack of infrastructure. So, the investment by the government would lead to a rise in AD as investment involves expenditure and the expenditure induced demand. Thus, the government investment would addresses the problem of deficit demand. Secondly, infrastructure is expected to be focus of government investment. Accordingly, the problem of deficit infrastructure would also be addressed. So here we can say that because of the massive public investment by the government, it will boost the economy. Why? Because of all the infrastructure facility which are being developed in the country are majorly taken by the government sector. So by this way we can say that the government always plan for the massive investment to boost the economy. Now look at one more value based question. If higher level of expenditure leads to higher level of AD and higher level of AD leads to higher level of output. Okay. So on this, why can't India increase its AD, that is expenditure, by printing more notes and thereby achieve higher level of GDP? So what has been asked here, when we are having a higher level of expenditure, so that leads to the higher level of AD. So this can be achieved by output. So why can't in our country, by printing more currency notes, we can achieve this goal, we can achieve the higher level of GDP. So is that possible to get the higher level of GDP by printing the notes? Let's see. The increase in expenditure leads to higher level of GDP is based on the assumption that there is an excess capacity in the economy, so that whenever AD increases, the producers are induced to produce more by utilizing the unutilized production capacity. In the Indian economy, the problem is not of utilizing the excess capacity. Instead, it is a problem of lack of production capacity. In a situation when additional production capacity is not available, any increase in AD by printing notes would lead to greater pressure on demand on the available goods and services. So it would fuel inflation without causing any kind of increase in GDP. So here we can say that if we want to increase the level of GDP by only by printing the currency notes, it will lead to raise a problem of inflation situation in the country, where the availability of currency notes, the money in the hands of people will be more, and the more number of people will be chasing on the limited resources, so that we cannot achieve the higher level of output by printing the notes. Now look at one more value based question. Here, the circular flow of money model suggests that the economy finds its equilibrium, that is AD equal to AS, when injections are exactly equal to withdrawals. Now explain how, citing an example of one type of withdrawal and one type of injection. So in the circular flow of money model, we can see that the production which are being done by the producer sector, it is being converted into the income of the household sector. Again, these incomes, the income generated with the household sector, are being spent through expenditure. So this circular flow of money goes on in the economy by the way of production, income generation and the expenditure. Here what we need to say, that the equilibrium stage where the AD is equal to AS is being seen in the circular model. So now we have to give an example of a injection and the withdrawal. So injection, that is what? The investment. So those investment which are being done in the government to increase the level of GDP, that can be said to be an example of a injection, that is investment. So investment may be said to be an example of a injection, and the withdrawal, that is the savings. So what are the savings which are being done by the household sectors and by the producer sectors? These savings are said to be a withdrawals. So the example of withdrawal where the people stop doing the expenditure. That means what? Some part of their money is being saved. That is saving. So that is the example of a withdrawal in the economy. Okay, students. So that's all for today. So whatever the questions we have discussed today, I hope you understood all these solutions very easily. So based on our today's practice, I have given some home assignments, some homeworks. So you can try it yourself at home. In case of any doubt, you can contact us. So take your smartphones. You can take a snap of these questions, or you can record the video through a set-top box. So now take the homework. That's all for today. We will meet in the next episode with a new chapter. Until then, study well, take care, stay safe. Goodbye.